welcome back. This time it's in English. So back again with Tech Africa with another live session. This time it is with our cybersecurity teams from Ingram Micro, which I am one of them, and we are joined by our business development manager, Mariam JAIFAR, and also we are joined with our prestigious partner who is part of the Tenable team. We are joined with Hatim. So today, right now in this discussion, because the day is still long and we will be discussing many topics with many other people, interesting people. And so today and right now, at this moment, we will be focusing with Hatim about the proposition of Tenable, who is Tenable, and then we can go on exploring further questions. Hatim, perhaps you'd like to introduce yourself first and then go on?
Thank you. So my name is Hatim AHMITACH. I'm the sales engineer covering North Africa.
Okay.
I've been in the industry for like almost 20 years now.
MashaAllah.
So Tenable is the leading solution, we can say, to in cybersecurity. And we can start from the beginning, where we started in 1998.
Okay, so it's old.
We are Nessus. So everybody knows about Nessus, but some of the people, especially when we came here to the region, we were still that people knows Nessus, but they don't know what is Tenable. And Tenable, the creator of Nessus in 1998.
Okay.
After that, through the evolution, we did a lot of acquisitions, and now we have completely changed. We are still into the line for visibility, vulnerability management. We will be talking about that. We added a lot of modules and solutions just to help the customers to have more visibility, to detect the vulnerability very quick, and to be in the proactive way. So, as I said, now we are talking about Tenable 1 that we will be discussing in details. And we are here having a lot of success in the region. It's paying off after 4 years with the company. So things are going good. Yeah.
Hopefully, and I'm sure that it's going well. Mariam JAIFAR, who is our business development manager, as we said, can you please introduce yourself en français, en anglais, comme tu veux?
En français peut-être.
Bien sûr. Et voilà, de ce que peut-être Ingram Micro a à offrir dans la proposition cybersécurité.
Bonjour, je vais encore me représenter. Je suis Mariam JAIFAR. Je suis la Security Business Development Manager chez Ingram Micro North Africa. Donc, je gère une liste de solutions cybersécurité, et parmi eux Tenable, dont j'ai le plaisir de gérer. C'est une solution vraiment qui propose des solutions très pointues de vulnerability management. Et il y a la gestion de vulnérabilité, ce n'est pas justement une solution basique, mais plutôt une solution qui donne un scan continu et des fonctionnalités très avancées. Et il couvre non seulement les assets classiques, mais aussi l'Active Directory et aussi la partie outil qui gère la partie industrielle et tout.
Très bien. Hatim, Mariam just mentioned many important points. Perhaps you would like to go into details about those. But before that, you mentioned Tenable 1. Let's start with Tenable 1 and then go into details from Tenable 1, perhaps with each product.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
So, we need to just go back a little bit after starting talking about Tenable 1. So the main idea was to stay in the line, as I said, working on the visibility, vulnerabilities of, because Tenable, as we know, everybody knows that Tenable is focused in the vulnerability, the exposure, what we call exposure management.
Okay.
So we start thinking like for 3 years back, something like that, to build something for customers to have everything together under one umbrella. So this is where the Tenable 1 started.
Okay.
So now, if you see Tenable 1, you have vulnerability management, you have web scanning, you have cloud security, which is everything to do with the clouds. We have the identity management, or we say Active Directory. We will be talking about that also. And we have the external exposure management. So all of this technologies areas we can feed into some layer like data lake, and after that we can help the customer with our expertise
Okay.
to look into what is mattering at that moment to maybe to have a breach or something or attack. So we can build a map to show you all the assets and all the vulnerabilities that are in and out, from which vulnerability you can go to another vulnerability if you are compromised, for example, and yeah, facilitating everything to the customer, so under one umbrella to have everything. And this is one of the I can say the only solution that have everything in one place.
Nice.
Yeah.
So basically, Tenable started back in the day with scanning
Yeah.
throughout Nessus,
Yeah.
and then worked out and partnered with many other vendors and
Of
many data sources, so that it works out and develops different solutions for different areas. Like for example, as you mentioned, you have scanning and protection for Active Directory, for network traffic, for cloud assets, and everything is under one umbrella, as you said.
Yeah.
This umbrella, I imagine it's Tenable One.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
Tenable One is basically
The universal
the
place
universal,
where you can find everything.
the mothership,
Yeah.
the mothership for
Yeah.
everything. Okay.
Yeah, I like the mothership.
The
Yeah, this is
mothership.
trend for me, yeah.
Nice. Okay, so according to you, if you could perhaps walk us with each one of the
modules,
products,
yeah,
the
the
modules,
modules that we call
and then
the
tell us
modules.
briefly about it. Let's start
Yeah.
with whichever you feel
Yeah, I
you feel
can start
comfortable
with the first one, which is by default the vulnerability management. So
Okay.
we are the leaders, and why we are the leaders? We have like multiple parameters that we can help the customer to focus on what matters. This is what we say. We have, for example, some priority rating, which calls VPR. It consumes
Okay.
like 170 source of cyber information,
Okay.
intelligence. We have people infiltrated in the dark web. We have a coverage for social media. We have the Nessus, which is the most used product on the world. So we have a very rich database where we can push to the customer from VPR perspective. We have CVSS, NVIDIA, etc., etc. And we are adding ACR, of course, which is the part of the customer.
Okay.
This is like something only the customer knows about his assets, the criticality of the assets. So
Okay.
we put it all together. So we are like removing 97% of the vulnerabilities that are just there published. So we are giving the technical team that bandwidth to focus only on what matters. This is from vulnerability management. And if we move to the other point, which is really critical, is the Active Directory.
Okay.
APTs, hackers, you can name it. Now they know that other path in parallel, other than the attack classical one, like for example from external to internal to sweeping, scan, etc. If they go directly to the Active Directory, they have the keys to the kingdom.
Exactly.
So Active Directory by default is the entry. So if I can be able to brute force or hack any user, especially the user that belongs to groups they have privileged, they can have access to everything. So applications, accounts, etc., etc. So we are helping customer also to have like a real-time monitoring of their databases, their Active Directory.
Okay.
If there is any change, on the spot, all the attributes. So we are helping them again with the proactive way before problem happen to fix all the misconfiguration. This is
Okay.
one thing. Second thing is everything related to the not the proactive but the reactive way. We have
Okay.
already an attack talking to sibling only the Active Directory. So there is some specific attacks that are there. We can help them. And OT, which is another thing, which is the operation technology, we name it in Tenable.
Okay.
This is everything have to do with the industrial, SCADA, IC, etc. And we saw that there is like a growth in attacks coming from the IT to the OT. And this is where we talk about convergence. We are the only company on the world, in the market, that have the best solution IT and the best solution OT integrated together.
Okay. So you can have the best,
The best view in the both worlds.
yeah, the best view from the both worlds, especially that I'm thinking that not many vendors have that visibility.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. This is the first pain for the, especially for the OT customers, inventory, to have the visibility, because the equipment in the industrial world, they are not that chatty. They are like dormant.
Yeah.
Once they are installed, they are there. They speak to each other maybe once a month. So you don't have that capability. So we have our patented way to talk to this fragile, we can say, assets. And of course, the external part, which is the through ASM, another module. So when we put all together, we have this visibility about external, internal, all technology, on-prem, on the cloud. We are the only vendor that's still developing on-prem and on the cloud.
Okay.
So customer, rest assured that he has the maximum possible of tools that can help him to have this 99999, we can say, best security for his environments.
Okay. So far, I believe that we've talked about. If we're gonna mention product names, so I believe that we talked about Tenable.sc.
Yeah. Now we just changed the naming.
Okay.
Yeah. Just recently, like 2 weeks back.
Okay.
So we are going back to the old name, like Tenable Security Center Plus with the
Security
letters.
Center Plus.
There
Okay.
is no .sc.io.
Okay.
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 Identity exposure for Tenable AD.
Okay.
Tenable Security Center for Tenable SC.
SC.
There is no Tenable.asm, so Tenable External Attack Surface Management, and
For
the
OT,
Tenable one.
Tenable OT, for
Tenable Operational
Technology.
Technology. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So far we've talked about the security center, the Active Directory,
Active Directory, identity management.
identity
yeah.
management. You've previously mentioned cloud security, I believe. That's
Yeah,
which was CS,
yeah,
I
cloud
believe.
security. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's CS. Yeah.
Could you please tell us a bit
Yeah,
about
so
that?
the cloud security is mainly about auditing and looking for vulnerabilities for the clouds. So anything like GCP, Azure, AWS. There is a plenty of work over there that needs to be enhanced. There is like this what we call shift left. So anything to do with Dockers, SecOps, DevOps, Kubernetes, etc., etc. We are with the customer or with the developer at the right moment when he's developing the application.
Nice.
So from the beginning, because every time we are working
So
very
the solution is looking at the code.
part of the code or the
Part of the
runtime,
code,
we
okay.
can say, and we are having a plenty of CES benchmark, the compliance for configuration for the what we call source infrastructure as a code, because in the cloud, as you know, routers, switches, load balance are code.
course.
So yeah, if there is a route, for example, it's technical, like it's open for the public, for the internet, we can like say here you have like
Yeah,
a
you
problem,
have
just
this
fix
route.
it, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And other that, yeah. Other that.
Also, you've mentioned external exposure.
Yeah, so we can actually what we are doing, we are scanning the internet, and
Okay.
the customer, once he give us the domain name, we can give him all the visibility about what is happening already there. We are not
Okay.
discovering, but the customer sometimes he has some other maybe department stuff like putting some other technologies that he's not aware about because it's very dynamic.
Okay.
So we are just giving him a true picture about what's happening outside.
Okay.
So if he's just aware about port 8443 and other ports he's not aware about them, he can see, okay, I have some other ports, I need to take this action, risk management, etc., etc. Some technologies that are vulnerable, some certificates, etc. So we are giving them the big picture about his company from outside.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you believe that there's anything else that we've probably forgot to mention about Tenable?
Yeah, so what we can say is that Tenable, from the experience for engagement with the customers, for example, many customers, they really love, maybe in the beginning, because when we've been here in 2019, just to convert the idea about the Nessus to go to a dedicated solution, cybersecurity and vulnerability management was not that, we can say,
Much of a focus.
or a priority.
Yeah,
But after
priority,
this,
okay.
what is happening, the attacks that's happening in the region, we started to see that we are helping people, and people are really, even now, they are coming to the booth and they are really thanking us and moving forward, looking for other like modules, for example, the Active Directory.
Okay.
And yeah, so we are like the baseline is there for vulnerability management, and now we are moving to other areas.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. So, if you'd like, to tell us about a bit. So, as we've been talking about from the start of this podcast, we've been talking about Tenable as a vulnerability management solution. So, which is gives you information using their intelligence about the different vulnerabilities in the environment. These vulnerabilities are usually scored. They have a score, right?
Yeah, of course.
So you've mentioned VPR, and I already know CVSS. Could you please tell us? There are those who say, "Hey, I already have the CVSS.
Yeah.
Why would I need a VPR?"
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, it's straightforward. Okay, so the
Okay.
CVSS is the by default used
Okay.
In the market or in the technology world, but the VPR, as I said, it's 170 source
VPR stands for
vulnerability priority rating.
vulnerability
Okay.
priority rating.
So
okay.
once we have the vulnerability, behind that there is a huge, rich database of information.
Okay.
CVSS, we know that it goes by vectors, but the problem of CVSS, it's a little bit limited because once we have the score for a vulnerability, it stays static.
Okay.
And for example, I have a vulnerability. It was like bad in the beginning. APTs were like using it and stuff. But after that, we have a patch, and it's no longer that vulnerability is critical. But CVSS will stay 9 or
Okay.
9.5.
Okay.
VPR is the opposite. It's dynamic. Once we have, for example, even if it is like it can predict before CVSS to be like to be published. For
Okay.
example, if there is a discussion underground, because we have some people infiltrated there as any other companies, if we start hearing that they will start using this code versus this technology, etc., we will start seeing that the score will start moving up. Okay.
Okay.
And once it is critical, it will go to 9 or 10, like 4G and other vulnerabilities.
Okay.
Once we have this, for example, patches, and people are like moving to the next version, it starts going down. And why we are doing this? Just to remove that, that noise from vulnerability
I
for
see,
the
I
customer,
see.
so we can help the customer to focus only on the vulnerabilities that are really happening now with the
now
score,
and
which
being
is high.
exploited.
Yeah, not like CVSS. You will find, for example, I had this table that we were like presenting from 2019 to 2022. Every year, in the top 10 of the vulnerabilities, you will find that VPR scored the 10 by 10. CVSS always misses like 4 or 3, something like this. So from accuracy perspective, from giving you what's going on in the same time, the right time, VPR is way richer. Yeah.
So we could be looking at a situation where we could have a CVSS of score of some vulnerability that has a CVSS score of 3, but it's being exploited a lot, and it would
VPR
need,
would be
and it would need urgent attention. VPR would give it a higher
yeah,
score.
and
Okay,
not to forget that the CVSS is included in the VPR.
of course, I imagine. Yeah,
the
it's,
NVD, the National Vulnerability Database, and the consortium with other. So it is. I'm telling you, it's like around 170 source of intelligence information, cybersecurity information, which is already there. So even in our dashboards, we have some tables that are putting VPR and CVSS. So your point is valid. We can check even CVSS, why this, why is that. So we can, what we call it, a heat map. So we can see the cross-checking about the CVSS, VPR, ACR, and this is helping the customer a lot.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Thank you so much, Hatim.
I appreciate
one
it.
more point, if you'd like. I'd like you just briefly tell us. I'm sure that you've had this a lot. Just any success story of some customer, of course, without mentioning any customer names.
Yeah, of course.
How was the situation before you've entered customer site? How was it after you exited?
Yeah, of course. There was like a big customer here in Morocco.
Okay. Public or private?
It's a public.
Okay.
It's a private.
Private.
Sorry.
Okay.
And it was a little bit messy in the beginning. He was just using Nessus and stuff.
Okay. Which we'd like to remind people, Nessus is kind of free, right?
not kind of free. It's just a tool.
It's a tool
Used
okay.
by the auditors, but it's
Okay.
not doing the job because it's not dedicated for the enterprise.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, you can use that as an auditor, but it's not the same. You need something to be like centralized from management console, distributed from scanners,
I see.
doing the job automatically, etc., etc., generating report, dashboard, etc. So we, the customer like was using Tenable through Nessus. We work with them, and we did a multiple workshop with them. Me, my colleagues, the professional services, and we gave them like we can say we start building the optimum solution for them. Like for example, we introduced Tenable Security Center Plus. Okay, so we have the active scanning through Nessus and the passive scanning through NNM, and because it is huge, all over the globe. He had a lot of issues with his scans, for example, and stuff. So we added another layer, which is the director, to look after the security centers and to look after the scanners.
Okay.
We can be installed via agent, etc., etc. So with the help of Tenable, like professional services, consultancy from our end, being close to the customer, we started like cleaning up the misconfiguration here and there, removing. There was like hundreds of dashboards that consuming the cost, etc., etc. And now the customer is very happy. He renewed, okay, with us.
Okay.
It's just like from 3 years to 3 years.
Okay.
And yeah, he's looking into the point that he needs.
And I would imagine that they will be looking since they gained your trust and
Just
you've
massive-
gained theirs.
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
I imagine that they would be looking to
They
acquire
already
more modules.
they already got the Active
Okay.
Directory. I
Okay.
forget that, and now we are looking for the external parts.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is the kind of success stories that people would like to hear, so
Yeah,
that they would
exactly.
be more assured and
Yeah,
reassured, and again
course.
to work with Tenable and with the team. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. We've been with Hatim and Mariam. Thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions, any information that you'd like to know, Hatim and the team are present with us in GITEX today and tomorrow, and they've been here yesterday. We've missed them. So feel free to come in, ask your questions, see what the team has to offer, and yeah, until then, see you next time. Ciao.
Thank you.
Merci.